What are you thinking? How do you feel?
This is my boomstick!
It's only a movie. Only a movie. Only a movie. Only a movie.
The directorial debut of Mimi Cave in the original film Fresh is a warning to swipe left on modern-day dating. Noah, a sweet and single young woman, is tired of feigning interest on boring dates with mediocre food. We're introduced to Noah's date, who says all the wrong things, asking her to bring cash to pay for her meal, and doesn't do simple things like holding the door open for her. A delightful confirmation that chivalry isn't dead, but has been brutally murdered. Fresh puts you right into those awkward date moments, specifically from a woman's point of view, such as being called a stuck-up bitch after politely turning down advancements from someone putting in minimal effort.
Okay. Good luck finding a guy, you stuck-up bitch.
The burden of femininity is further highlighted as Noah feels panic when she is approached walking to her car in the middle of the night. These scenes act as a showcase that Noah keeps her guard up and isn't accepting of strangers entering her life unvetted. Noah describes her sex and dating life to her best friend, Molly. After Molly lifts Noah's self-confidence, Noah tries a Tinder-like app, messaging back a potential match. The conversation from the man turns into perverted dirty talk in seconds, and he even sends a picture of his penis unprovoked, an experience too many women can relate to. In a scene straight out of a romantic comedy, a stranger named Steve strikes up a conversation with Noah in the grocery store. The exchange is silly and light-hearted, but painfully flirtatious. Steve works up the courage to ask Noah for her number. In the following scenes, the couple goes on their first date. They tell each other about their family, their work, and share secrets about themselves. It is clear both Noah and Steve feel a spark, and normally, both would hate the dating process. But the experience between them is painless, and maybe even fun. Noah has let her guard down with Steve, and has started embracing the spontaneous side of herself. The two have dinner, dance, and have sex. Steve invites Noah to go somewhere as a surprise, and she gleefully accepts, totally lost in the ecstasy of her new relationship. When Noah tells Molly about this cute new man and their plans to go on a trip, Molly, who previously told Noah to be more confident and spontaneous, now suddenly feels apprehension and concern over how quickly Noah is falling for Steve. Molly warns Noah something doesn't feel right, but is thrilled for her newfound happiness as well. Noah and Steve travel to Steve's house to prepare for their trip the next day. After Noah has a drink to unwind, she becomes disoriented and collapses to the ground. Over 30 minutes into the film, the title card appears, in one of the most satisfying opening sequences of the last few years. Evoking the motto, "If it is too good to be true, it probably is," Noah wakes up chained in a room after being drugged. She is now a prisoner of a complete stranger. Steve exposes the truth that he's going to keep her alive, but slowly cut her apart and sell her meat to wealthy and mysterious customers. Steve is shown butchering a human body. He listens to pop music and dances like nobody is watching. One can't help but conjure images of Buffalo Bill in The Silence of the Lambs dancing to Goodbye Horses. Steve quickly displays his wicked side after Noah attempts to escape by removing her ass in a surgery she is awake during. There is a sense that Steve wasn't completely fibbing during their dates. After all, he is a doctor like he had told her, and he does enjoy Noah's presence more than his normal victims. When Molly investigates Noah's disappearance, we find out that Steve has an entire family that portrays a seemingly normal life. His wife knows that Steve butchers humans and even appears to be a part of the business. In a shower scene, we see his wife's leg as a prosthetic. The movie is vague on if the leg was amputated by Steve or not. I personally like to equate her missing leg with her being Steve's victim at one point, but he had fallen in love with her and started a family. Although unconventional, Steve does offer a stable income, a father figure, and an odd sense of protection. In the third act of the film, Noah, just like in the date at the beginning of the film, feigns interest in Steve's meat obsession and asks, "What does it taste like?"
What does it taste like?
Steve gives Noah a chance to try meals made of human meat. Just like all those awkward dates, Noah finds herself asking about Steve's job, or asks questions she doesn't really care about just to pass the time and keep the ruse of interest going. On a second dinner date, Steve is now the one blinded by love and has let his guard down. And again, just like the men on rude first dates, Steve thinks that despite his actions, he is so charming that Noah would still want to sleep with him. Noah uses this opportunity to attack and escape with the other prisoners. Molly is one of these prisoners, and throughout the movie, Molly proves that family isn't just your relatives. Molly goes above and beyond, putting her own life in danger to search and rescue Noah when Noah first goes missing. Steve admits that his victims tend to not have family relationships, and thus there isn't usually a search started quick enough to save his victims. Molly is solely responsible for saving Noah's life. The last few minutes of the film are a thrilling chase sequence. The women fight viciously to escape Steve. When Paul, a local male bartender and friend of Noah and Molly, arrives at the home after tracing their cell phones, he leaves at the first sign of danger. A hilarious scene that presents the fact that patriarchy and men do not and will not solve all of women's problems. The women get the upper hand on Steve, and his plans are spoiled. While the women take control, he calls Noah a cunt, just as the rejected man in the beginning of the film had called her a bitch for not wanting another date. After our heroines are safe from Steve and his family, they profess a sisterly, "I love you."
I fucking love you, Molly.
And the camera pans to a truly horrifying shot. A "you up" text from the horrible first date, a reminder that the world of dating and the nature of men haven't changed despite the emotional rollercoaster the women have just endured. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to get notified when the next love letter to a cinema classic drops. Check out Dread and Terror on Instagram, Twitter and Patreon to show support. We love you all so much. It's scary.